Beneath the freezing waters between Russia and Alaska lies a piece of land that quietly changed the course of human history. Thousands of years ago, that stretch of ocean wasn't water at all. It was solid ground, wide enough to walk across for weeks. An ice age locked so much of the planet's water into ice that the sea itself pulled back, uncovering a hidden path between two continents. Humans walked across it long before anyone had a name for Asia or America. They simply followed the land, and the land kept going. This is the story of that forgotten crossing, and how it made an entire group of people the first humans to ever reach the Americas. During the height of the last ice age, enormous ice sheets locked away a staggering amount of the planet's water. With so much water frozen solid, global sea levels dropped by more than 300 feet compared to today. This exposed a wide stretch of land between Siberia and Alaska, an area scientists now call Beringia. Far from being a narrow icy strip, this land bridge was often over 600 miles wide, practically its own continent. For the humans living nearby, this wasn't a temporary shortcut. For thousands of years, it was simply home. Despite its icy reputation, much of this land bridge wasn't actually buried in snow. It was surprisingly dry, grassy tundra. This grassland supported huge herds of mammoths, bison, and other large animals, making it a rich hunting ground. For hunter-gatherer groups, this meant Beringia wasn't a barrier to survive. It was a resource-rich territory to live in. Archaeological evidence suggests humans may have lived on this land bridge itself for thousands of years before ever moving further. This slow, gradual habitation may be the real key to understanding how humans eventually reached the Americas at all. Even after arriving in Beringia, humans couldn't simply continue onward. Massive ice sheets blocked the way forward. Genetic evidence suggests populations may have remained isolated on this land bridge for thousands of years, unable to move further. Scientists call this the Beringian Standstill, a long pause where an entire population adapted, grew, and waited. During this time, this isolated group likely developed genetic and cultural traits distinct from their relatives back in Asia. Every person who eventually entered the Americas may trace back to this single, patient population. As the climate slowly warmed, the massive ice sheets blocking the way south began, very gradually, to melt and separate. This created what scientists call the ice-free corridor, a narrow, temporary pathway between two enormous ice sheets. For a group that had waited generations, this corridor may have finally offered a real route further into the continent. They likely followed the same herds of animals they had always relied on, using them as guides through unfamiliar terrain. Beyond this corridor lay an entire continent that no human being had ever set foot on before. Newer research suggests the ice-free corridor may not have opened early enough to explain the earliest evidence of humans in the Americas. Instead, some scientists believe early humans may have followed the Pacific coastline, using boats and rafts to move steadily southward. This coastal route offered a reliable, ice-free food source, even while inland areas remained locked in glaciers. Following this theory, humans may have moved along the coast in stages, much like the island-hopping crossings into other parts of the world. Land or coastline, ice corridor, or open water, however it happened, humans found a way to keep moving forward. In 2021, scientists uncovered something remarkable: fossilized human footprints in New Mexico, dating back over 21,000 years. These footprints, made by adults and children walking together, pushed back the known timeline of humans in the Americas dramatically. This discovery suggests humans may have entered the Americas thousands of years earlier than scientists previously believed. It means these early arrivals weren't just barely surviving. They were already established, moving and raising families. Every new discovery like this forces scientists to rewrite the timeline of one of humanity's greatest migrations. Once humans reached the Americas, they didn't stay in one place for long. They spread, remarkably quickly, across two entire continents. Within just a few thousand years, human populations had reached from present-day Alaska all the way to the southern tip of South America. Along the way, groups adapted to an incredible range of environments, from icy tundra to dense rainforest to high mountain plateaus. This rapid spread is considered one of the fastest large-scale human migrations in our entire species history. In a relatively short span of time, an entirely new, isolated branch of humanity had taken root across 2 continents. The Americas these humans entered were unlike anything they had ever seen, filled with massive, unfamiliar animals. Giant ground sloths, mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and massive bison roamed landscapes that had never encountered humans before. With no prior exposure to human hunters, some of these animals may have been remarkably easy to approach and hunt. Some researchers believe this combination, human hunting alongside a changing climate, may have contributed to the extinction of many of these giant species. Human arrival in the Americas didn't just change human history, it reshaped the entire ecosystem of 2 continents. Today, the descendants of these early arrivals include the many indigenous peoples across North and South America. Genetic studies continue to trace direct lines connecting modern populations back to that small, patient group that once waited in Beringia. This journey, spanning thousands of miles and thousands of years, remains one of the greatest migrations in human history. The bridge they crossed is gone now, swallowed by rising seas as the Ice Age ended. But the journey it made possible never disappeared. Every step of that ancient crossing still echoes today, in millions of people whose story began on a strip of land that no longer exists.